You too, Jimmy.
Who wants to start us off?
Not me.
Troy, ask about Will Chamberlain.
Start?
Uh,
For a mic, please.
Oh, of course. After the Florida win, of course, the team more motivated and faced Kentucky. I mean, the team gave really hard time here in Thompson Arena. How do you see this game coming forward to tomorrow?
Well, a couple things. I think, one, I think Kentucky's the most underrated, underappreciated team in the country right now. I think them, along with Kansas, are the two best teams in the country. They haven't lost since they lost at Auburn, and Kansas hadn't lost until I don't think since their loss at home against Baylor. And I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I guess everybody goes back to losses in November, but right now those are the two best teams in college basketball right now. And they got two players that you have to think, Andrew Quickly and Dick Richards are two guys you got to look at that are player of the year type candidates. And there's a lot of terrific coaches in our league, and no one's done an any better job than John Calipari. And so with that said, they're playing terrific defense. They get out in transition. They're as lethal as any team you'll play against. And if not, they're going to get into their sets and they're going to execute. And so they've improved a lot since our last game here. I think we've improved a lot. And that game we started a bigger lineup because Josiah didn't play. And so again, we're going to have to continue to get better. And our guys coming off the game against Florida should feel good, but we know, again, we're going on the road and, again, arguably playing the best team in college basketball right now.
Jimmy and Troy?
Rick, Kentucky's won a lot of close games, and I wonder, do you think that's because they're a great free throw shooting team, a great defensive team, or is there some other factor?
Those two for certain. You know, they do make free throws, and so when they made me think about it here, they made great. There were a lot of free throws coming down the stretch when we got behind and had a foul. John's team's always defend. You know, they're not going to give you anything easy, and I think when you look at them too, they've improved. I mean, they've done a great job. I mean, we talked about Nick Richards the last time here about how much he's improved. If you look at their backcourt play all around, they've improved. And I think that you go back. His teams always get better in this time of year when they start playing their best basketball. And I wouldn't say what I just said about them being the most underrated team, and I wouldn't say that I think them and Kansas are the two best teams, that they didn't have the whole package. And I do think they and you said they've been in close games, and I think both of those teams, I think they're both built for close games. And, but the fact is they take care of the ball, they make free throws, and they're going to make you earn way to get on the other end.
Josiah's played some of his best games this year when playing against other highly touted freshmen in this class. Do you think that's something that drives him? Do you think it's important to have that kind of competitive edge?
I don't know, playing against other high-rated players, I don't think that's what motivates him. I mean, and again, it's been documented. I mean, he's had to fight through a lot of injuries and those type things. He's feeling better than he's probably felt at any point in time this year, and he came out and I thought set a great tone for us against Florida, and we need him to continue to do that. And but he's now, and I tell all these guys that played minutes, you know, they're closer to being sophomores than freshmen, so it's time for him. And again, but he's been hurt. But I do think he's throwing better now than he's felt in a long time, and I would think that has something to do with him playing. The way he plays now, it's going to be a consistency thing. Can he continue to do that and get better?
Coach, I go back to the Georgia game when Fulkerson just took 2 shots that night, and then you came out afterwards and said, you know, we need him to be a go-to guy, and he doesn't have that mindset. Do you think he's changed that now? I mean, does he have that mindset now? I mean, it looks like it.
I do think he has, but I think a lot of it had to do it. That's been part of the growth of this team for our other players to understand it, just to understand the game, understanding the importance of getting fouled, you know, understanding what goes into it, and understanding whether, and again, when we talk about getting the ball inside, it doesn't have to be the throw to John Fulkerson every time. It could be driving the ball, just attacking, to at least give yourself a chance to get fouled. But there's no doubt his mindset has changed. I do believe that, and I do think that he understands what he needs to do. He's had to learn it, and I will say that. I mean, it's not in his nature to play the way he's been playing, where he's been game planned for, the way people game plan for him. He gets pushed, he gets shoved around more than any player I've ever coached. I mean, he gets shoved a lot, and I think people think he's flopping out there. He's not. I mean, he's light, he's quick. And his motor is what makes him different. But he gets pushed off position a lot, and he gets walked under more than people might think. But he never complains about it. I mean, when he's talking to an official, something's happened, because he never does that. But his mindset has changed, where he realizes that we need him to be aggressive and know that. And I go back to E&E. Not only do they have to do it on the defensive end, both of those guys are trying to get it done on the offensive end. No one's got more of a load to carry than Fulker's been carrying in the last couple of weeks, that's for certain.
Mike and Jimmy?
Rick, I mean, is this a weird senior day in a way for someone like Lamonte, who hasn't really played the last few months? And what have you appreciated most about him through his career here?
Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm planning on him being here. He should be, because he was the very first player that we actually recruited when we got here, and he's been a lot of program. He still needs a lot of programs, and I hate it. I don't know if there's been a more difficult, sad ending than what he did, because he had. I mean, this is the year that, his mind, and in all of our minds, this is going to be his year, because he came in and had to wait a year while other guys played, and then he dealt with injuries throughout his career. But the one thing that he gave us, and I can say he's arguably as competitive as any player we've had since I've been here, and to lose that was a big loss. That alone was a big loss. But obviously he gave everything he had. I mean, I can't explain to you what it's like not to have feeling in your hand and not be able to get the ball up and shoot it the way you want to. I mean, he came in actually one time without us even knowing it for a long time, back before the season really got going, and he spent 3.5, 4 weeks trying to learn to shoot right left-handed. Because that's how much it was bothering him at that time. And even though with his left arm, he couldn't bring his left arm across him. And I think that just shows you the commitment he tried to make. But he knew he couldn't do that the way he wanted to. And then obviously it got to a point where he just felt like he was helpless. He felt like he was hurting us more than he was helping us, which I'm not sure I'd say that. But I think in his mind he felt that way. But he should be recognized here as much as any player we've had for what he's given our program.
You mentioned the injuries to James, and also we had a stretch where he wasn't very productive. Do you think that impacted his confidence?
I don't know how it can. I mean, when you think about it, Jimmy, I don't know when, because Josiah's a really hard worker. He's been a hard worker for a long time, and and he doesn't have any false sense of security. I mean, false sense of him being something that he's not. I mean, he wants to get better every day. He's not one of those guys that thinks that he's already there and all that. I mean, that is not even anywhere in his mind. So I'm sure frustration and not being able to move and do some of the things that he'd like to be able to do, it can't help but affect your confidence at times. Plus, you got a lot dropped on you when Lamonte goes down. I mean, there's a lot that had, on him. And think about it, if Santi hadn't got here, our lone guard would have been Jordan Bowden in those games. And so there was a lot that came down on Josiah and Jordan Bowden at that point in time. And Santiago gets here, and he has meant a lot to us. But I think Jordan's. Josiah and Jordan Bowden both have had a lot thrown at him this year, and I think both of those guys have handled it in a great way.
Coach, you had 2 international players, Santiago, that you just mentioned, and Euros joining mid-season, and now this season kind of died in, and you had a lot of time to, a lot of play time. How do you see their development and their integration with the team? I know it's hard to come mid-season and be international Euros playing in college, but you still you had to adapt the team.
You talk about Santiago as a guy that maybe is one of the most. His story is incredible. When you think about college basketball here, I don't know of anybody that could come in. I don't know if it's ever happened where guys had 3 days of practice and then he started every game as a freshman. and then that game starts with conference play. I mean, it's an incredible story, and it's pretty neat thinking about how right now everybody in the player are trying to figure out, everybody's arguing a different way, they've done this, they've done that, and all that's done, which is a good thing, is just showing him the things he needs to continue to improve on. So when he has to face that adversity like anybody, it's good, because it reveals, hey, this is where I've got to get better. And the fact is, he's one of those guys, and I would say that about Josiah too. Those guys realize that, hey, you know, this adversity can be good if you turn it into a good for yourself. And I do think that Santiago is doing that. I do.
He also asked about Urosh integration.
Urosh, yeah, we feel for him as a staff, because he didn't get those November, December games where you can get a little bit of, to play through some mistakes. Because right now, you know, as much as we'd like, and again, our job is to develop these guys, but it's also, you know, we owe it to our, you know, to win games. And so sometimes it's tough putting him in a situation where there's a lot at stake. And but overall, you know what, I mean, you watch him during the game, he's as good a teammate as we've had, and he has gotten better. I mean, there's no doubt he's gotten better. And I think the fact that he's gotten to play this year, just what he's done, is going to really help him tremendously going forward, because he knows that the things that, like I was talking about with San Diego, they know the things they've got to do to get better. And but it is hard. It's hard not only for your team, but for him to be integrated at the time that he was. And but you have to believe it all happened for a reason, and it's a good thing that he has struggled with it, but yet he's never wavered in terms of his attitude and wanting to do everything he can to help our team.
Rick, since Lamonte has shut it down, how much has he been around the team, and how would you describe his impact when he has been?
Well, he's been in and out because he's rehabbing. You know, I mean, he still wants to pursue basketball, and so he's been in and out. And you know, he's actually, the way I understand it, he's gone to like part-time status. So we don't get our academically that way, but he's around, and when he's around, I mean, he's certainly a positive influence on the guys. But he still has had to do rehab, and he still had to go back and check on things with people that have done the work on him. And but he is at a point. The last time I saw him was last week, and he said he was starting. I think he thinks he was getting ready to start getting back in the gym.
Rick, what has coaching Jordan meant to you over the last 4 years? What's the impact for him on and off the floor for his program?
You know what? I've never seen him have a bad day as a person. I mean, to me, he is as consistent a human being as I've ever been around. You know, even when things aren't going well, he hides it. You know, he's one of the funniest guys around guys. I mean, really, like a great personality. And, but watching his growth, I mean, you think about it. Tom told me last week, I think he's now in the top 25 all-time league scorers here. But his impact has been the roles that he's had to play. I mean, he's whatever. I say the dirty work. He's been willing to do all the dirty work. You know, he's always been a guy since he's been here that we'd try to. You know, we thought, okay, he's going to be the matchup and guard the other team's best player. And this year he's had to take on a different role, obviously, and he's had to play. Out of the position that he normally played here. He got put in a situation and he struggled, but he never blamed anyone. Shoot the ball. But I can say in some ways what he's done defensively has been as impressive as anything he's done since he's been here this year. Because when he was struggling and he was pressing, there's no doubt about it, but he never gave up on doing his job in terms of defensively and trying to rebound and as good a teammate as. And I think you'd ask the guys, over time, we could probably be voted the best teammate because of the way he is every day with those guys. He's a very unselfish person, maybe to a fault on the basketball court. And it's hard to believe now that, you know, he's a senior, and I can still think of the day when he sat down with his mom and dad, and they wanted to know why we were recruiting him. And I'm just glad they made, you know, Steve James made that connection for us, and we sat down and we went down to see him, and then he made the decision to come here. It's good for all of us. I think it's been great for him too.
With regard to Vescovi, you had said late in the game, you wanted him to go get the ball because you wanted him at the foul line. At what point did you gain that type of confidence in him?
His first shot against LSU. I mean, you saw the confidence he played with. I mean, he wasn't in shape. You realize that he made plays, but one thing, he's fearless. You know, he hasn't been perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and he's turned the ball over, but what because of, again, I can go back, those are those November, December turnovers that you wish he had a chance to make. He didn't get that opportunity. He had to make it in high-level conference games, and he took it personal, and he does take it personal, but he's a competitor, and he has a great mindset towards the game, and there's no doubt that he's given his teammates and all of us confidence. There's no doubt that he's a guy that, once he's settled in, there's not a guy on this program. I think anybody on our team would want him to have the ball at the free throw line there.
You called 2 timeouts while Florida was making its run there in the second half. What did you see differently during that run that led you to call those timeouts compared to the Auburn game?
Well, one of them we called because of the rule situation. We only had 4 seconds to get the ball across that court. And if you call timeout in that situation, you reset the clock to 10. And that was why that had nothing to do with anything other than that. That could have been a violation. Because we hadn't gotten across in 6 seconds. I'm not sure we got across in 4. So we got to reset on the clock, and that's why we had those 2 timeouts back to back. But you go back to the game against Florida, we turned the ball over twice, and what happened, and we talked about it yesterday. I mean, for 25 minutes the game's going along, we had a pretty smooth tempo, and all at once when you're down like they were, they're going to change. They're not going to stay the same. They're going to start taking more chances on defense. They're going to start heating the ball up more. They're going to start driving the ball offensively, and that's where we haven't made those adjustments when we've had leads. And you go back, we turned the ball over back to back. We made long passes where the guy handling the ball, tried to make a pass from half court, and we weren't setting our screens to get open to move the ball. And then we missed 2 1-on-1s. Santi missed 1 of 2, so that's what turns the game around. And you only have so many timeouts. If I could stop it after every turnover, I would, but you can't do that. And like I said, if we had to save timeouts at the end of the game, if you ask why, think about it. Santi gets the ball in the corner, he has to burn a timeout. If you use those timeouts at certain different times, because I expect us to be in close games. At the end of the game, in most situations, I know this team needs timeouts at the end of the game. And but again, the reason those 2 was all because of the rule. You had to reset the clock at 10.
Coach, you played Josiah 40 minutes on Saturday. I think 4 of your starters played 36 or more. Was that a one-game thing, or if you kind of?
No, what was that stat you just gave me? That's a great stat.
The last 4 games, you've played 150 of 160 minutes.
Change the philosophy. No, you know what? It goes back to what I was talking about earlier. These guys have worked hard, and you would like to, again, eliminate those 2 turnovers, those 1-and-1s where the game's up there, where you can get guys out, and get some other guys in and let them get some of those minutes. But when the game goes from where it did down to 4, 5, it's if Fulky was tired, he didn't want to come out of the game. The coach, that's how critical each possession can get to be. And but at that point in time, when they made a comeback from 19 down to 4-1, whatever it may be, you got to go with guys that have been in the game, and they've got to gut it out and gut it up and do whatever they have to do to make plays. And we got lucky on Fulky's 3, but when you work hard, some of those things happen. And then a big play of the game was we came across half court. We had the ball with 40-something. We ran a quick hitter to get a bow to the rim. We were going to go, instead of holding the ball down, I think we were up 1 minute, we were going to go 2 for 1. And then they missed a rotational block out, and Fulky dunked the ball. That was as big a play as any of them. But we thought we were going to be aggressive, and Jordan Bowden came over and kind of ran just a little set for him, and he turned it up and missed the layup, but Fulky was right there to clean it up.
Anything else? All right. Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
Yep.
Okay, how